nfuna ebiseera bwe buti era sifaayo okuddamu kumpita
Because I believe one day God is going to ask me, what did you do with
kuba
what I gave you?
nzikiriza lumu katonda
I
alimbuuza wakola kino
I
kyenakugamba
charge it expensively,
nkitunda bbeeyi ya
but I
muwanga
also give it freely to some
naye
people.
ate era eri abantu abamu nkiwanga kya bwereere
Dr. Sam,
webale nnyo
Just
Dr.
something I
Sam.
want to add.
Kanyongereko kano
Well, Dr. Sam, thank you so much.
Dr. Sam
I
webale
want to bring to the attention of the children of God
njagala kuleetera eri abaana ba katonda
that just as Dr. Sam has stated,
nga Dr. Sam bw'ayogedde
in most occasions in life,
ebiseera ebisinga mu
the
bulamu
first step of curing your stress
eddaala erisooka gwe okusobola okuwonya
is first of all
stress
identifying that surely I have stress.
kwe kukkiriza nti ddala olina
And
stress
then you seek attention.
era n'onoonya obuyambi
Some of the stressing factors in life,
ebintu ebimu ebituwa
are
stress mu bulamu
some of them are self-imposed. I'm not saying all of them.
ebimu fe ababyereetera
In life,
nobyereetera
sometimes we want to live to the standards of life
oluusi tulina
that we
engeri gye
cannot
twagala
aff-
okubeera mu
that we
bulamu
cannot afford.
ate nga tetusobola nabbuwanirira
Dr. Sam has just said that you have 200,000
Dr.
shillings
Sam
per month,
ayogedde nti omanye ofuna emitwalo
but
abiri
you
buli
want to
mwezi.
live a life of a million thousand
naye
shillings.
ate oyagala okubeera mu bulamu bw'omuntu afuna akakadde
Yes.
k'ensimbi
So you live, you have those high expectations and your income is low.
osuubira ebintu bingi
In the
ate
long
ng'ofuna
run,
sente ntono era gye biggwera
Nabikowa.
I am
See,
tired.
I am tired. I think I cannot do it again.
Nze sobola kukiddamu
So surely it is better to come down
kisingako gwe
and live
okukakana
in your life.
n'obeera mu bulamu bwo
Seek-
bw'osobola
Seek help.
noonya obuyambi
Most of the time we can be under something disturbing us.
oluusi tuyinza okubeera n'ekitutawaanya
You do not even want to seek help somewhere.
nga toyagala na kunoonya
Please, it is
buyambi
very important to seek help.
kirungi nnyo gwe
Pastors
okunoonya
counseling
obuyambi
sessions here in church.
musumba alina kansoling
We
wano
have
ku
some
kanisa
elders in church.
tulina abakulembeze mu
So please,
kanisa
it's sometimes very important to go
kya
and open up.
mugaso nnyo okugenda ne obeggulira
Before you go to the clinical psychologist that will ask you for 500,000 per
tonagenda eri
session. First, try at the level that you can afford.
sooka obeere ku ddaala
And
lyosobola
seek that attention.
era osobole okufuna obuyambi
Make sure that you try to live under what you can manage.
kakasa nti obeera
mean,
mu bulamu
try-
bw'ekintu ky'osobola
Try to solve
okuwanirira
your stress.
wegezaako okugonjoola stress
Marriage is very hard.
obufumbo
Children have
buzibu
not gone to school.
abaana tebagenze ku ssomero
Beat around your chest and say,
sooka okakkane mu mutima
"Kakana mutima, yes.
first calm down
Calm down,
otandike omu ku omu
yes, and then seek help
omale onoonye ku
when it
buyambi
is too much. Don't
bw'owulira
don't
kikuyitiridde
stay in the house for so long.
tosigala mu nyumba
Because
bbanga
Dr. Sam
gwangu.
has clearly stated to us that unmanaged stress
kuba Dr. Sam agambye stress
goes into
gy'otakwasaganyiza
a severe disease called depression.
egenda mu kirwadde ekinene kye
And after
bayita
depression, I want to add, because Dr. Sam knows that I know it also.
Dr. Sam akimanyi
After
kino
depression, you're most likely going to think of suicide.
oluvannyuma lwa depression ogenda
You're most
kulowooza
likely
ku
going to think
kwetta
of being destructive.
ogenda kulowooza ku kwonoona
Even this thing
ebintu
here, let me let it go.
era n'ebintu egyagamba
Even these children here, let them go.
ne baana abaana
You
kabagende
see, I am even tired of this life.
ne buno obunamu
I wish I
nabukoowa
can take poison and die.
singa nsobola
Those
okwenywera
are
akatwa
all still
n'enfa
complications of stress,
ebyo byonna biva mu
which is not
stress
managed.
stress
Very important.
gy'otakwasaganyiza
This conversation is timely. You need to identify that you have a problem.
tegeera
and
nti
seek
olina
assistance.
ekizibu ate n'onoonya obuyambi
Thank you so much.
Can I just correct something or
beeko
add?
kyenongoosa oba nyongere
Is said, talk to someone.
agambye baako gw'ogamba
But I want to add
naye njagala
that you need to
okwongereza
talk to someone who cannot be judgmental,
olina okwogera n'omuntu atagenda
someone
kusalira
who will
musango
not escalate your stress.
omuntu atagenda ate kwongera ku stress
I've already said,
Ngambye,
thank you very much for that,
Webale
Dr.
nnyo
Francis. I'd actually left that very important part. Talk to someone.
yogera n'omuntu
But you know that I've told you that 1 in every 2 Ugandans.
manya nti
Is
omu ku
stressed.
bannayuganda ababiri omu abeera
So
ne stress
avoid going to another stressed
kati
person
bambi weewala ogenda eri omuntu ate naye ng'alina stress
because
kubanga
they will escalate your stress.
bajja kwongera mu stress yo
come to church.
jangu mu kanisa
Come to church.
jangu mu kanisa
Because the Bible says, and the peace of God that
bayibuli
transcends all
egamba nti
understanding
emirembe gya katonda
will keep your minds in
egisukkuluma
Christ
ku mirembe
Jesus.
gy'abantu
So-
egikuumira endowooza ya kristo yesu
We know these things. When I ask for money, it's not
Bine-
because I don't know the scripture.
bino ebintu
It's
mbimanyi
what I do to take food home.
bwe nsaba sente tekitegeeza simanyi byawandiikibwa naye kino kyenkola okutwala emmere waka
But Pastor here and his team are more blessed
musumba ne ttiimu ye bali mu
in
kifo
listening to your problem
we bali okuwuliriza ekizibu kyo
than another mukowu,
okusinga mukoowu munno
because they will escalate your stress and say, "What are you even doing in that home?"
bajja kwongera ku stress yo ne bakubuuza kiki kyokola ne
And then
maka
they tell you things fetwakowa,
bagambe nti they are tired
such things, and you'll find yourself going to kick your wife.
weekange nga nawe oze
You're
waka
kicking
n'osamba
plates,
mukyala wo
you're banging the
n'oyasa
door. Your
amasowaani
stress is worse. Are you getting what I'm saying?
nti stress
Now-
yeeyongera
Very quickly,
mangu nnyo
you've all heard about suicides of late.
mwenna muwulidde ku bantu okwetta
It's more serious in young children,
kiri mu kweyongera mu
actually
bavubuka abato
teenagers, because this
abatiini
is what I do.
kuba
for a
kino
living.
kyenkola
We are getting reports of death of adolescents every day.
abatiini bali mu kwetta bweyongera bweyongezi
Every day,
buli lunaku
we are losing at least one Ugandan to suicide.
waliwo
Every
munauganda
day
gwe
that passes.
tufiirwa nga yeeyesse
Even today, we have lost
n'olwaleero
one.
tulina gwe tufiiriddwa
Let's be very careful. Let's manage our stress.
bambi
You can only-
tukwasaganye stress
You
yaffe.
can only say, "Me, I'm not stressed," until you've reached that point.
Osobola
And you
ogamba
do
tolina stress
something,
okutuuka
and you even
bw'otuuka
ask
ekiseera
myself, and even ask yourself, how did I do
n'okola
this?
ekintu ne weebuuza kino
That means
nkikoze
that it
ntya
is getting out of hand.
kitegeeza nti kiri mu
So
kuva
before-
tokyasobola kukikwasaganya
So
wekka
before it's late, talk to someone.
nga tekinaba tuuka eyo yonna baako gw'oyogera naye
Just a minute. Times it becomes hard.
oluusi kiba kikaluba
Somebody may be stressed,
omuntu ayinza okuba alina stress
not come out open.
nga tasobodde kweyabya
So in such a situation, I would love to ask a question.
mu mbeera eyo
See,
nandiyagadde
The
okubuuza
professionals around.
abaliwo
The neighbor, relative,
neiba oba ow'eŋŋanda
or any concerned person allowed
oba omuntu
to
yenna
intervene
akkirizibwa
or to approach
okuyingirawo
somebody who
Wo-
can come in and help instead of maybe, you can be
Coming
stressed
to-
and may be hard for you to know that you're stressed. But the neighbors or any concerned person can be able to.
ng'olina stress naye nga abakwetoolodde bakulaba nti olina stress
Every minute that passes,
buli dakiika eyita
I'm made to remember a few things.
ndeetera okubaako bye
I
nzijukira
also want to put this on record
era njagala okwogera kino
that 65%,
nti 65 ku 100
I'll break it down to 6 people out of every 10 if you
abantu
counted,
6 okuva mu bantu 10
who go to the hospital
abagenda mu ddwaliro
to see a doctor
okulaba omusawo
are there because they are stressed.
baliyo lwakubanga balina stress
6 out of every 10.
abantu 6 mu bantu
6 and a half actually, almost 7.
baanatera
Meaning that, and you've gone to your doctor even at farm care here.
genze mu
They
ddwaliro
do a
n'ono
test for
okufa
malaria, it's not there.
bakola malaria
They
test
do
nga
a test
teriyo.
for typhoid,
ne
it's not
bakola eya
there.
typhoid nga
But you have
tofuna.
headache that is opening your head.
naye ate ng'omutwe gukuluma
Anyone who
gwagala
is
nakwabika
familiar with that,
waliwo
you
omuntu
have a
eyeefanyiriza
backache. You have a
Oyina-
backache, and you've moved from one hospital to
omugongo
another.
gukuluma ovudde mu kifo nga bw'ogenda mu kifo
That
ekirala
is what I do at Mengo Hospital,
kyo kyenkola e Mengo,
Roosevelt,
ne Ruthwell
Paragon Hospital here. That's
ne
what I do.
Paragon.
I do what is called liaison psychiatry.
nkola
People
ekyo
who go to the hospital and they don't have a
abantu abagenda mu
diagnosis,
ddwaliro naye
but
nga
they are in
tebalina basawo kye balaba naye nga te bo
they
bali
are
mu bulumi
referred to me and I see them. So you can see how busy I am.
ndowooza osobola okulaba
So
nga bwe ndi
it
busy.
means
kitegeeza
that if you don't talk to someone,
nti bw'otabaako gwe
it will
weeyabiza
progress and start costing you.
kigenda kweyongera ate kitandika okukumalako
And
ssente
eventually, when you're out of the options,
Era
you get
oluvannyuma,
more depressed
ojja kubeera ng'oli ofuna depression
and you'll contemplate suicide.
era otandika okulowooza ku
But
kwetta.
depression also kills in other ways.
Ne depression esobola
You
okutta mu
can
ngeri endala.
you can fail to eat enough
Osobola okulemererwa
and you
okulya
die from opportunistic infections.
n'ofa
You
olw'obutalya.
fail to take care of yourself
N'o-
and still die
n'olemererwa
from other
okwerabirira
infections.
era
Are you getting what
n'ofa
I'm saying?
infections endala.
Because your body immunity has been affected by
Kubanga
the
omubiri
depression.
gwo gukoseddwa
Now,
depression eyo.
What he asked,
Kyabuuzizza.
should even in the absence of a trained specialist
Ti oba
like
tewaliwo
myself,
muntu atendekeddwa nga
pastor is
nze
very far.
obanga
What do I
omusumba
do?
ali wala nkola ntya.
There are always people whom God has put around us.
Waliwo abantu
Every community.
katonda baatadde mu
There are people you know you can
mu-
talk to and they will
mu
listen
bitundu
to you
byaffe.
patiently.
abantu bano osobola ogendayo ne bakuwuliriza bulungi.
You utter all your nonsense because some of the
oyogere
things that stress
ekkererewo
us,
yenna kuba
some of
ebintu
us-
ebimu ebituleetera
some
stress
of the things that stress us are
ebimu
stupid to other people.
bya kisiru eri abalala.
For example, I had something that I had wanted to show here.
nina ekintu kye nabadde njagala okulaga wano.
Looked at this man.
bw'otunuulira omusajja ono
He's stressed.
alina stress.
Stressed by calculator.
kaliculate mu stressinga
Things are not balancing properly.
ebintu tebiri mu
He's
kubalansinga
stressed by the clock.
essaawa eri mutawaanya
Time is rushing faster,
obudde budduka
like it is this evening.
nga bwe
Okay?
kiri olweggulo olwaleero.
Uh, the car has expensive spare parts.
emmotoka
The
erina
fuel prices are
spare parts za
are
bbeeyi,
going through the roof.
n'ate n'amafuta ga bbeeyi.
The account balance
sente z'alina ku akawunti
is reading below.
ziri ntono nnyo.
Are you getting what I'm saying? The
ontegeera
family
amaka ge
believes you're earning
ekkiriza
Huh?
nti ate gwe ofuna
and
sente
friends,
empitirivu
so they are
n'emikwano
giving
gyo.
you budgets,
Kati
budgets,
bakuwa
bills,
budget
you
ku
know.
budget,
But your
budgets.
balances are warning. They are on red.
Te balance zo ziri mu akawunti ziri mu
That is
kuwoninga.
what stresses an everyday person,
Ekyo
isn't
kye
it?
kitawaanya omuntu
So
wa
these
bulijjo.
things will always be there.
Bino ebintu
They will
bijja
affect you whether you
kubeerangawo.
want it or not.
Bijja
So
kutawaanya
find
oba
someone
oyagala
you
oba
can talk to.
toyagala. Kati funa omuntu munaye gwe weeyabisa.
Okay, just something I want to add, Dr. Sam. Well, I would like also to add something. How do you identify someone that you
Can-
can talk to?
Kansooke njogera engeri gy'osobola okutegeera omuntu gw'osobola otuukirira.
How do you? I'm stressed. How do I identify someone?
Nina stress naye ntegeera nti omuntu
Dr. Sam
ananyamba.
has said that there are people around us.
Dr. Sam agambye waliwo abantu
The number
abatwetoolodde.
one thing
Ekintu ekisooka
that if I have a marriage problem,
bwe mba nina ekizibu ky'obufumu,
the way I identify who can handle my marriage problem
engeri gye ntegeera omuntu asobola
is
okunyamba
another person who is living married.
ye muntu nga na bulungi,
So I talk to that person.
oyo gwe njogera naye.
Another person
Omuntu omulala
that we all know is spiritually filled person
ffenna gwe tumanyi omuntu eyajjula
that has
omwoyo
followed God so much.
agoberedde Kristo,
He has the character of God.
alina embala ya Kristo.
Definitely when you go to that person,
Bw'ogenda eri omuntu
he
oyo
is able to speak to you.
mwetegefu
And
okwogera gy'oli,
he will not add more stress to
ate
you.
tajja kwongera ku
Because
stress
surely you believe is spirit filled.
kuba tukkiriza nti ajjudde
I
omwoyo.
want to state it clearly to children of God is that stress
Njagala okwogera bulungi nti
most of the
stress
time is managed by being listened to.
esobola okugonjoolwa
You
ng'omuntu
just simply need
akuwadde
someone
obudde
that can be
n'akuwuliriza.
in front of you,
Weetaaga omuntu ali
as Dr.
maaso
Sam
go,
has said, who will sit there and keep listening to you
ajja
and saying,
kutuula
yes,
wansi akuwulirize.
oh yes, that is it. Yes. And you are releasing, and even you can
Awo
cry.
bw'oba ofulumya nga
Under
bw'okaaba.
management of stress, it is good to cry.
Kirungi nnyo okukaaba bw'oba olina
Please, someone should
stress.
sit in front of you and listen to you cry.
Weetaaga omuntu atuula mu maaso
In a
go
counseling
n'oyogera.
session, Dr. Sam might have not told you,
Ka-
some
Dr.
of
Sam
the
Chagama,
issues that we handle is
abamu
that
ensonga
simply sitting in
zetukwata
front of you and listening to you cry.
yakutuula
And say, you
n'akuwuliriza
know, school
ng'okuba
fees has
emiranga.
really stressed me.
School fees
My God, how will I do
zintawaanyizza,
it?
ngenda kukikola
And you
ntya?
cry, you go on the floor and you cry.
N'okaaba n'okaaba nga
cry,
bwe tukutunuulidde.
And please, in a counseling session, usually it's not allowed to stop you from crying.
Tokkirizibwa during counseling tebatukkiriza kukomya muntu kukaaba.
And then after crying, we ask you, what is the solution?
Tumuleka n'akaaba
Most
oluvannyuma
of
ne
the solution will
tumubuuza
lie be just within you.
ne tumubuuza kati
That
ki
this is what I'm going
ekyokuddamu.
to do now.
Era weesanga nga oyo omuntu
Go do
yennyini
it.
y'alina ne ansa.
Just go do it.
Ne baba ne
And
bagamba
you'll
kati
find
genda
that you get out
ogikole.
of that stress. So
Nga stress
as
bagimaliriza.
I want to state it again,
Nkiddamu nate.
please identify. Dr. Sam has stated clearly sincerely
manya
and
ani
more clinically
gw'otuukirira
that surely do not go to another stressed person.
togenda eri muntu ate naye alina stress
Or
esinga
another
eyo
person who might have the same problem with you.
oba omuntu alina ekizibu
And then
kyekimu
instead
naawe
of telling you that,
ekifo ky'okugamba nti omanyi
this is how you'll get out of it, you will say,
bw'otibona akivaamu
nange nabikowa.
and then like they also
I
tell
am
you I'm
also
also
tired.
tired
So actually do what you want.
nti kola kyonna
So,
ky'oyagala
so that is what I just wanted to chip into.
ekyo
Dr.
kye
Sam.
mbadde njagala okwongerako
So when you find someone crying,
osanga omuntu akaaba
do not stop them.
bambi tobagamba sirikawo
Okay, maybe I'm teaching you to. This is how I earn my money.
bweti bwefuna
I sit
ssente.
down.
Tuula
People,
wansi
someone can cry for. My session is 45 minutes,
seshoni yange ya dakika na
and that
mutaano
is 100,000.
mitwalo 10
45 minutes. Sometimes people cry
oli akaaba
40 minutes,
eddakiika 4
and for me,
zenze
professionally, that's how we work.
bwe ntyo bwe nkola
If it is 45 minutes and you've cried 40,
bwe ziba
that's the end
eddakiika
of the session. You pay, we are the
ana mu ttaano
come back.
ng'okaabidde
Next time.
eddakiika 4
Because-
olina osasula
I think it is unfair, but crying is called ventilation.
okukaaba ffe
Let me
tukuyita
describe something.
ventilation
Imagine we are just few in this room, isn't
tuli
it?
batini mu kifo
But
kimu.
imagine we made this room airtight,
naye singa kino ekifo tukijjuliza ddala nga
and there
tetusobola
is nowhere
kufulumya
fresh
muka
air can pass.
nga omuka tegusobola
get in
kuyingira
here.
wano
We would soon start to undress, isn't it?
tutandika okweyambula
Because we are uncomfortable.
kubanga
So,
tetulina mirembe
When someone is crying, it's like
omuntu bw'aba
they have
akaaba
opened the window. Are
oba
you getting a point?
ng'amuguliddewo
So
eddirisa
some
ali
of
mu
the stress can
kufukusa
go
muka
out. So
Stress
when
efulume.
someone is crying, don't stop them.
bambi omuntu bw'aba akaaba
Sit down
tomukomya
and
tuula
listen to
wansi
them.
muwulirize
Okay? I'm making all of you psychologists now.
kati mbafuula
Now,
ba psychologists
If someone has a problem, they have lost someone,
omuntu alina
don't go and
afiiriddwa
ask
oluganda
them, how do you feel?
togenda mubuuza nti owulira otya
How do I feel?
mpulira ntya
Just go and sit down
tuula wansi
and tell them it must be difficult.
gambe ndowooza bambi bizibu
Then they will open up.
olwo
You
balyoke
get a point.
beggule
They will tell you how they feel. They
bajja
tell you
kubuulira bwe
because
bawulira
you can be mistaken for a witch.
kuba basobola okuyita omulogo
Thank you so much. We've taken some good time on stress,
stress
but I
tugimaze
think we needed it.
naye ndowooza tubadde tugyetaaga
Kati tumanye engeri gye tuyinza okumanaginga stress.
so we know how to handle stress
What I've got here,
kyenfunye wano
the solution is within you.
ekyokuddamu kiri munda mu ggwe
Hallelujah.
amen
Katugende to Dr. Simon.
tugende the microphone alina akantu kagenda oteekako tuwulirize saayo omutima Joshua, can you magnify for us, please?
Like 5.
As we wait for the audio,
nga tulinda audio
Dr. Simon,
tugende eri Dr. Simon
Dr. Simon, would want you to take us through home emergencies.
tuyise mu
I have my
emergencies
child.
z'ewaka nina omwana wange
Grounding is a technique that helps keep us in the present moment. It helps bring us back to
You said, how can I address stress?
ogambye engeri gye nsobola
One of the-
okwasiganya stress
Whenever you get stressed, you
Bw'ofuna
lose
stress,
balance. Are you
oba
getting a point?
tokyali
You
mukaka
can't do
muteefu
things the way you used to do.
tosobola bikola nga
One of-
bw'otera bikola
One of the major ways of handling stress is called grounding.
engeri gy'osobola
What we were
okukwataganya
doing-
stress bagiyita grounding.
What we were doing is
Kye tubadde tukola wali
relaxation therapy, and it's part of grounding.
kwe kwekakkanya era kiri kitundu ku grounding.
Because stress disconnects you from your surrounding. Yeah?
Kubanga stress ekujja mu bintu by'obeeramu
So
bulijjo.
grounding helps you to get back in touch with your environment.
Grounding ekuyamba okusobola okutegeera
For example,
ebikwetoolodde.
I am seated with my friends here,
Ntudde wano n'emikwano gyange
and I receive a very stressful call.
ne nfuna essimu entawaanya.
How do I get back in touch?
Nkomawo ntya
Are we together?
okuwoogera nabo.
So that is what
Kyekyo ka audio kye kagenda okwogerako.
Grounding is a technique that helps keep us in the present moment. It helps bring us back to the here and now. Grounding is especially useful for managing emotional storms because when storms arrive, we often get so lost in what we are thinking and how we are feeling, we lose track of where we are right now. So let's now try a brief grounding exercise. You can practice this exercise no matter how you are feeling right now. Even if you feel fine at this moment and no difficult thoughts or feelings are present, you can still practice this exercise. Just follow all the steps. By practicing in this way, even when you feel well, you will prepare yourself for when difficult situations arise. Please do this exercise in silence. We invite you to sit straight. You might wish to close your eyes to help move more deeply into the exercise. If you do not want to close your eyes, then fix your gaze on a spot. Take a moment to notice what you are thinking and how you are feeling right now. Next, find a way to slow down. Slow your breathing. Breathe in and out through your nose. Slowly press your feet into the floor. Slowly stretch your arms, or if you prefer, press your hands firmly together. Get a sense of yourself slowing down. Now notice where you are. Look around you with curiosity. What are 5 things you can see? What are 3 or 4 things you can hear? Breathe in the air. What is it like? Warm, cool, fresh, still, dry, or humid? What can you smell in the air? Notice where you are, what you are doing. Reach out and touch something and notice what it feels like under your fingers. Stretch your body in some way. Stretch your arms or legs or back or neck. Notice that while there might be difficult thoughts or feelings appearing, there is also a world around you that you can see and hear and smell and touch. And notice, you can now move the way you want to, and you can also choose the words you will speak, and how softly or loudly you will say them. This is important to know.
Every person who sits in that kind of class to just listen to that thing pays me 50,000.
okuwuliriza obuwuliriza ako akantu
But you can see how nice you feel after, isn't
naye
it?
owulira nga
So I just
oluvannyuma lwako
tell people to come and listen to that,
ngamba abantu
and they
ne
pay me money.
bakawuliriza ne bansasula
but
ssente
it is good
naye ate kirungi
to practice this. Keep
Okuki-
listening,
wuliriza
hear listen to what you're hearing in your environment.
ssaayo omwoyo eri ebyo by'owulira
Take time to look at things you have
Sayo
around you.
of-
Stretch your body.
golola ku mubiri gw'otunulira ebintu
And even if
ebikwetoolodde.
someone was provoking you,
era omuntu ne
you will
bw'aba
now
abadde
choose to tell them,
akusoomooza omutunuulira n'omugamba kati nno
I think it can be okay. Are you getting a
ndowooza byonna
point?
birungi
You can tell them softly. You can tell them even more gently.
sobola
Because
omubaddamu
you've taken your
obulungi
time to relax. Are you getting a
kubanga
point?
otutte obudde n'okkakkanamu
Thank you very much.
Mwebale nnyo.
Tomorrow is my busiest day. I request to leave.
nsawo abadde asaba agenda kuba enkya lunaku lwe ali bize nnyo
Praise Judith. Dr. Sam,
Manyi,
you are too busy.
oli bize nnyo
We are here
era tuli wano okuyiga
to
era n'akatini ke tufunyeeko
already. We are about to come out in it.
tunaatera okuva mu kinnya
What you have been sharing,
by'obadde ogabana naffe
it is what we are passing through. We are
Yeah.
full of stress.
tujjudde stress
Least,
kati
can you give us like 10 minutes? These people ask you some questions.
twongereyoko eddakiika abantu bano bakubuuza ebibuuzo omala olyoka
Just
ogenda
I'm requesting.
nsaba busabe
Thank you.
Prepare our questions to Dr. Sam.
nga tuteekateeka ebibuuzo byaffe eri dr sam
Let's hear something from Dr. Simon.
katubeeko kye tuwulira okuva eri dr simon
Dr. Simon,
dr simon
briefly, I would
Briefly.
like you to give us some of the things that we can do,
tuwe
at
ebintu
home,
bye tusobola okukola ewaka
what I can turn as first aid.
kye nsobola okuyita nga first aid ng'omuntu atuusiddwako
In case you're at home
oba oli waka
and the kid has poured hot porridge
Omuntu-
on themselves.
omwana yeeyiridde obuugi obwokya
A kid is convulsing. Convulsing.
omwana ajja ekyovu is it?
Yes,
oyeesika
yes. The temperatures are so high at 3 a.m.
saa mwenda ogw'ekiro omusujja nga guli waggulu nnyo
oba omutwe omuntu gumuluma nnyo
or they have great headache
tasobola kgenda mu ddwaliro ssaawa mwenda ez'ekiro.
they cannot go to the hospital at 3 a.m. in the morning
Abamu abalina abaana bali asthmatic
and there's those that have asthmatic children
atandise okussa obubi
they are breathing very badly
ziri ssaawa mwenda ez'ekiro
And it
sisobola
is
kgenda mu ddwaliro.
deep in the night I cannot access a hospital
Nkola ntya until morning sobola
what
okgenda
do
mu
I do
ddwaliro for
okutuusa
the
obudde
meantime.
bukya
You can answer each scenario briefly.
Thanks so much. I'm so grateful to be here today.
ndi musanyufu okubeera wano leero
Pastor Sunday. It's
nsomba ndi musanyufu
It's an honor to us.
kitiibwa gye tuli
I am your child.
ndi mwana wo
I've been with Pastor Sunday since, I can say, since 1996.
mbadde ne muzeeyo okuva mu 96
Way back from Eagle Miracle Center.
nga tukyali ekibulima ku ssente.
Don't assume now that I'm so still young.
Siri mukadde nnyo.
Uh, so, church, grateful to be member of the church.
Musanyufu okubeera ekitundu ku Divine Shield. Era ngenda kweyongera okubeera ekitundu ku Divine Shield.
I've talked to Dr. Sam. He's going to be with us for some time.
Njogedde ne Dr. Sam akyali naffe.
But I know we have less time. Even me personally, I'm supposed to go a shift.
Nange nina shift gye nina ogenda.
This is also equally very important.
Naye ate ne kino nakyo kya mugaso.
Though we started late, so I was just requesting we try to increase our speed.
Nsaba twongeremu ka sipiidi kaffe.
I've been asked to handle emergencies.
Nsabiddwa okukwasaganya emergency ewaka.
It's a little different from what we handle in the hospital.
Bya njawulo ne bye tubeera nabyo mu
Because that is my field. I handle normal emergencies. in the hospital.
kubanga field yange nkwasaganya emergency.
But still, emergencies remain emergencies.
Naye era emergency esigala emergency.
So here we're going to handle burns.
Tugenda kwogera ku kujja.
Burns are very common,
Okujja kwa
especially in young children.
kubeerawo nnyo okusingira ddala mu baana.
They can get burnt by hot water,
Basobola amazzi gasobola obbookya,
porridge,
obuugi,
fire itself.
omuliro.
So there is a dry burn, there are wet burns in case it were to go in details.
Waliwo dry burns ne wet burns.
Wet burns are caused by wet things like porridge,
Wet burns byebyo ebintu ebireetebwa
Hot
ebintu
water.
ng'amazzi, obuugi.
then dry burns can be caused by electricity,
Dry burns eza
charcoal,
ezo amanda,
flat iron.
paasi n'amasannyalaze.
There can also be sunburns.
Waliyo ebintu ebisobola okwokya.
Sunburns.
Sunburns, sorry.
So,
Omusana gwokya.
so what happens when your child get burned? Or when it can also be an adult
Asobola okubeera omwana obanga muntu mukulu
and you're at home.
ng'oli waka.
So the immediate first aid you have to give the person who has a burn is
Ky'osobola okukola osookerako okuwa omuntu ayokyeddwa.
get a cold compress.
Okwata ekintu ekinnyogoga.
I know most of us will rush to say, let us put urine, let us put
Abasinga
sugar.
tudduka okutwekawo omusulo, sukaali, butto.
So those options are not the best.
Si bye bisinga.
If you are going to put sugar,
Oba ogenda kuteekawo sukaali,
you are instead going to cause dehydration.
oba oleeta okumalibwamu amazzi mu mubiri.
Dehydration is that you are putting in sugar which is strong, so you
Oli
are
mu
going
kuteekamu sukaali,
the sugar is going to suck all the water that is in the cells, neighboring cells there.
sukaali ate aba anywa amazzi agali mu busajja bw'omubiri obuli mu kifo ekyo.
So in the long run, you are causing dehydration.
So oba oli mu kuleetera okubulwa amazzi mu mubiri.
And others tend to put in they call it generator oil, no, transformer oil.
Abamu babagamba okuteekamu oil wa transformer.
So when somebody gets burned, you are exposing the body to other infections.
Omuntu bw'aba ayokyeddwa ate omubiri oba oguwaddeyo okukosebwa ebintu ebirala.
So the body is exposed. So when you are bringing in other things, the transformer oils, you don't know where they are.
W'oleetera bino ebintu ebirala oba tomanyi wa gye
You
biva.
don't know the sterility of this.
Tomanyi bulongoofu bwabyo.
So you may bring in something that is going to cause more harm. You
Sobola okuleeta ekintu ekigenda okwongera obubi.
are introducing in germs in skin.
Oba oli mu kuleeta obuwuka mu mubiri.
In the long run, even somebody may be introducing tetanus.
omuntu ayinza n'okufuna tetanus mu ebyo.
So the best thing is get clean water.
Ekisingayo funa amazzi agatukula.
If you can access water from the fridge,
Bw'oba osobola okufuna amazzi agava mu fridge,
apply it there.
ago g'oteekawo.
You can put it in a kavera, apply it there.
Osobola ogateeka mu kaveera n'ogateekako.
Or if you can access a bowel or a much water, dip your feet there.
Oba osobola okufuna
But
amazzi
take it.
amangi n'oteekawo ekifo ekyo ekiyidde.
Let it cool for like around 20 to 30 minutes.
Leka kisooke okukakkana mu ddakiika nga 2 oba 3.
So after it has cooled,
Bwe kimala okukakkana,
try to dress it up.
gezaako okukirongoosa.
Since it is home, you can try to look around.
Kubanga oli wako osobola okwetegereza, okunoonyanoonya.
You can try to look around and get a clean handkerchief.
N'ofuna akatambaala akatukula
Wrap around the wound.
n'okyetoolooza ku kiwundu ekyo.
If it is in places where there can be tight things, maybe like watches,
Bw'oba kijjidde mu
jowels.
kifo wabeera ebintu ebikwata ennyo
try to loosen up.
ng'essaawa, gezaako gijjako,
Try to loosen up.
gezaako okugyesumululako.
Because in most cases, if a place gets burnt, it is what we call inflammation.
Kubanga ekifo bwe kijja waliwo kye tuyita
In inflammation, the body tends to swell.
omubiri
The
guzimba.
cells around the area tends to swell.
Omubiri guzimba.
So you tend to expose this thing and remove. So as it swells,
Nga guzimba,
if you have tight things around, maybe like a watch,
bw'oba olina
or
ebintu
jowels,
ebikutte ng'essaawa oba
depending on the surface, if it is the cloth they tie around,
oba
remove
lugoye oba ttaayi oba olina odduggyako,
move it so that you allow the process to the body to take care of itself.
sobole okukkiriza omubiri okwerabirira.
If it is around the leg,
Bw'eba kiri ku kigere
because of the swellings, around the foot,
olw'okuzimba,
you can tend to raise the
osobola
the feet.
obbiyimusaako.
Raising the feet
Okuyimusa ebigere
allows the blood to flow.
kikkiriza omusaayi okutambula.
It allows the blood to flow out of the injured part,
Kiganya omusaayi okufuluma okuva mu kifo kino ekikoseddwa,
and then oxygenated blood from the heart or from the lungs to go to the area,
omusaayi ne gusobola okutuuka mu kifo ekyo,
which helps already in the beginning parts of treatment.
ebiyamba mu kujjanjaba.
Nowadays, people have Panadol
Ebise-
at home.
Ebiseera bino abantu babeera ne panado mu mayumba.
So you can have rectal Panadols, or you can have some Panadol for swallowing.
Osobola okubeerako ne panado gw'osobola okumira.
If you have at home, then you give somebody
Bw'oba oyina ewaka,
to relieve the pain.
osobola okuwa omuntu okuggyawo obulumi.
If the extent of the burn is so much,
Bwe kuba
Then-
nga omuntu ayidde nnyo,
then call for help
kubira omuntu, kuba essimu ofune obuyambi,
or go to the nearby.
oba ogende ku
Medical
ddwaliro erikuli okumpi.
Thank you.
Mwebale nnyo.
Simon,
Okwesika.
Just a little bit before he goes to conversion. Dr. Simon has stated it clearly. But maybe there are certain things that were so medical because he's so used to things up there
kubanga
in the
amanyira
theater
ebintu
and in
mu
the intensive
theatre
care unit.
ne intensive
But I want to try to break it down even further.
naye ka nkimenyeemuko.
Number one, if a
Chisoka.
kid gets burnt at home, I want to just highlight clearly
Omwana
in a sh-
bw'ajja
in a
ewaka,
short way. First of all, let's assume right now you are carrying a baby,
katugezese
and all of a
ositudde
sudden
omwana
you had porridge
ng'olina
and-
obuugi
and it has poured on the kid.
ne buyiika ku mwana.
So number one thing
Kisookerako
is to
ddala
take away the danger from that kid.
kwe kuggyawo obulabe ku
That is
mwana.
what you do first.
Kyosooka okukola.
Remove the cup, maybe the remaining half of the porridge.
Ekikopo
far away.
oba obuugi obwo
If it
obusigaddewo
is a flask of tea that
bwe
is still
bafulasika
full, keep it
ng'ekyagi
very far.
kijjeewo
because it can happen again.
kuba
you
kisobola
fumble.
okuddamu okukola
So the
okujja.
first thing you do, take it away. Take,
Kyesooka
whatever has
okola
harmed the
ggyawo
kid.
ekikoseza omwana.
I am talking to moderator, please.
Njogera eri
The first thing, take away whatever has harmed the kid very far.
ggyawo
Because there is a
ekikoseza omwana
tendency in a state of panic, it happening again.
kuba kisobola
So
okuddamu
after
okubaawo.
that is done,
oluvannyuma
if
lw'ekyo
you cannot take the substance away from the kid,
bw'oba tosobola
take the kid
kijja ku
away
mwana
from him.
omwana mugjeewo
if it is like a very big, huge saucepan,
bwe kiba
you cannot
sepiti
carry it by
ddene,
yourself. Carry
tosobola
the kid away.
gyesitulira omwana
And probably take
mugjeewo
the kid outside.
era omwana oba
And then
omukulu
start the procedures that Dr. Simon has told you.
olwo otandike
Number one, don't pour cooking oil.
bambi toyiwawo
Do
butto
not pour sugar.